let's get real. If you're new to the MPC world, the first big question that hits you is, what should I get? Do I go with the MPC Live 2, portable, battery powered beat machine, or do I step it up and take it to a whole nother level? Do I get the MPC Key 37? What I want to do in this video is I want to talk in plain language, and we're going to explore what makes the Key 37 stand out, why it might fit better in your setup, and most importantly, what all those fancy features actually mean for your music journey. Let's talk about it. You did. Back to the channel. They call me Split Decision. I'm a marketing specialist for Studio Life University. Make sure you go to MPCWarriors.com. Check out the music. Now look, the Live 2 and the Key 37 are a part of Akai's legendary MPC lineup. I love the MPC. I'm telling you, man, music production centers have been popping since the late 80s, and the MPC has been the heart of hip hop since I can remember. You feel what I'm saying now? It's famous for those 16 rubber pads, you know, those square buttons that hit, trigger, drum, samples, loops, all of that. But here's what splits the decision. Okay, sorry, I'm just finger drumming in my mind. Okay, so the Live 2 is all about portability. It's battery power, it has built-in speakers, and you can take it anywhere. I went to Dubai with the MPC Live 2. Now the Key 37 though, it's a beast. And it takes all the power of the MPC and it adds a 37 note keyboard with aftertouch, pitch wheels, a massive sound library, kind of integration with native instruments. I remember that marriage. Oh man, mash out to the machine. Look, I got a machine. I got an MK2. I got some native instruments products. But anyway, Key 37 is built for deep, expressive music making in the studio. You dig what I'm saying? The pads are great for drums, great for samples. The keys can unlock so many different melodies and so many different chords. So now with the MPC Key 37, it gives you a 3-octave keyboard, 37 full keys, and you can play, you know, piano riffs. You can build chord progressions. You can drop a bass line, and you can do all of that without needing some type of external keyboard. I'm saying that's cool, man. You know what I'm saying? Then it has MIDI. Come on, man. Now, for the new individuals, look, MIDI stands for Musical Instrument Digital Interface. Now, back in the day, you had to have MIDI. You had to understand MIDI. You had to even study MIDI. You feel what I'm saying? But I want you to think of it as, I'm going to say, a universal language that electronic instruments use to communicate with each other. You feel what I'm saying? So the MPC Key 37, you don't need to buy or plug in a separate MIDI keyboard because it's its own keyboard. You feel what I'm saying? I'm just saying, man. You know, it has aftertouch. Look, basically, this is what I'm saying. The keys, once you press a key on the Key 37, if you push down like kind of harder, then what you do is you control the effects through the keyboard. You understand what I'm saying? I'm hoping that I'm explaining this well. You know, but basically it's like pressing the keys on the Key 37. It adds emotion without touching a knob. Basically, it adds emotion to your sound. It adds character. That's the word, character, to your sound. You feel what I'm saying? That's what you need right there. MPC Key 37, like I said, it's just an awesome choice. I also like the MPC Live 2, but right now, MPC Live 2s, brand new, they have magically disappeared. Now, for years, they've been everywhere, but they've magically disappeared. Now, I took that as a sign that an MPC Live 3 is coming, but some people are calling me crazy. I don't know why they're calling me crazy, but I still had to, drop some videos about it, what I'm saying? But look, the workflow of the Key 37 gives you legendary pads. It gives you a keyboard all in one unit, and that's what I really like about it. You can tap out a drum groove on the pads. You can switch to the keys. You can play a bass line. You can jump back to the pads to do vocal chops. I'm just saying, you don't have a cable. You don't switch gear. You just stay with the same workflow. And I think that's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm saying, sometimes you want technology to be so advanced that it just does not slow you down. And especially if you in that creative pocket, because sometimes you just get in that creative slump where you just not as creative as you want to be. You feel what I'm saying? But when you in the pocket and you tapping out beats and you just in that creative space, the last thing you want to do is be interrupted. You understand what I'm saying? Now, one of the things I will say about the Key 37 that gives it a huge advantage, in my opinion, is the sound library. You know what I'm saying? It ships. If you just ordered it today, then what would happen is you would get over 10 gigabytes of sounds and 1,000 presets. That's crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? Now, presets, they are ready to play instruments, strings, synths, bass, pianos, guitars, drums. If you're a beginner, it's a lifesaver because you don't need to buy all those extra sound packs on day one. Eventually, you'll get into sound packs. Eventually, you'll start creating and selling your own sound packs. You feel what I'm saying? They call it beat packs, but you get what I'm saying. Look, you just turn it on and you're making music. That's what I really like about the Key 37. You feel what I'm saying? So, I just got on to talk about this Key 37. It has CV gate outputs, right? Now, CV stands for control voltage. Now gate, basically that means on and off, like a sound gate. You open it, sound goes through, close it, sound doesn't go through. You got what I'm saying? But together, when they working in tandem, they let you basically control the analog synths and modular gear. You know what I'm saying? Those racks of cables and blinking lights that you see in all these studios. Look, man, basically, if you ever get modular synths, your MPC can talk to them directly. You feel what I'm saying? It has its own language. It also has, full MIDI ports in and out. That's what I like about the Key 37. You know what I'm saying? So MIDI, like I said, is the universal language of music as it applies to how electronic devices talk to each other. You know what I'm saying? So it means that you can connect this to a drum machine. So you can connect it to keyboards. You can connect it to your digital audio workstation. You can connect it to your computer. It makes it where it's so convenient because it can communicate with anything. You got me? And then with, USB host ports, you can plug extra controllers or storage drivers. You know what I'm saying? The bottom line, look, the Key 37 is not just an instrument. It's kind of like a central hub for the studio. You feel what I'm saying? Now, peep this. I think it's a great choice That's the reason why I'm doing this video, because I was just on Facebook and people was talking about it. They was arguing. And I'm like, look, man, come on, dog. I get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling people, I'm like, and I tell people, I'm like, look, man, I own a Key 37. I'm like, man, I own the Live 2. This is what I like about this. They're like, oh, you don't own nothing. You don't own nothing. But I didn't share my video, any of the channels that I own with them. I'm just in different groups and I'm just talking to people, and I'm not being arrogant or nothing, but people you always have a hater. You know what I'm saying? So now the MPC Live 2, as it applies to portability and stuff like that, look, it wins hands down. You feel what I'm saying? It has a battery, it has speakers, all that stuff built in. So you can just go to the park, make a beat. Get on a plane, make a beat. Go to a coffee shop, make a beat. Sit on your couch, make a beat. It does not matter. You know what I'm saying? But with every positive, you always have a trade-off. You know what I'm saying? Most individuals that I have had the experience of being in their presence and the honor of being in their presence, they have made their best music in a massively focused environment. The studio. You know what I'm saying? So even if it's just a desk, even if it's in your bedroom, in my opinion, that's the reason why I like the Key 37. It shines in those moments, because you're not battery charging, you focused. You know what I'm saying? You got no tiny speakers. You just have a serious, stable machine, and it's always ready to get busy when you are ready to get busy. This is just what I'm thinking. You know what I'm saying? So now the big difference, in my opinion, the Live 2, it feels like a tool. You know what I'm saying? That's what it feels like. It's all about having access. It's all about being flexible. But when you have a Key 37, it feels like it feels like music. It feels like an instrument. You know what I'm saying? Like when you look at it or when you touch it, it encourages you, especially if you know a little bit of keys. It encourages you to compose. It encourages you to play it. It just makes it where you want to perform. You know what I'm saying? So basically, it shifts your mindset from a tool to an instrument. And to me, that changes everything. You feel what I'm saying? So, you're not just programming beats. You're making music. That's what it feels like. Even if you're not even good on the keys like that, because I'm not a classically trained pianist or nothing like that. But I had to study YouTube University, you know what I'm saying? Keys and chord progressions and just trying to understand music, so you just studying sound design and music theory. But the bottom line is this. I like the MPC Live 2 because it offers a lot of freedom. I like the MPC 37 because it offers mastery of what you're learning, because it gives you keys and pads all in one station, has a massive sound library. It has expressive aftertouch. It has deep connectivity and a workflow that basically transform your studio into what I'm going to say an intellectual musical control center. You feel what I'm saying? But I got a question for you. What kind of producer do you want to be? What kind of producer are you? Do you want to make beats anywhere in the world? Or do you want to make music everywhere? So look, you can't go wrong with either choice. But I'm going to say this. If you want to treat your MPC not just as a sampler, but as a true instrument, and most of the music that you make is probably centralized in one location like your studio, then the Key 37 calls your name. And when you answer, I want you to discover the difference between making beats and making music. You feel what I'm saying? But now, if the Live 2 is calling your name because you want to be able to travel anywhere all over the planet, anywhere in the planet, then get the Live 2. I'm just saying. The choice is yours. Split decision.
Studio Live 10. Studio Live. StudioLive10x.com.
Master in the gear and the grind, refusing to stagnate, got my eyes on the shine. Power grind, gaining, we rising. Yeah, we out here.